Hercules Tires is the official tire of the Western Athletic Conference, and for over 65 years has been providing tires with unbeatable quality at an unmatched value. Whatever the vehicle and whatever the terrain, Hercules Tires invites you to ride on our strength. For a retailer near you, visit HerculesTires.com.
Welcome back to the WAC podcast. Kendra Sheehan, Eric Danner joining. I'm in the beautiful Phoenix, Arizona for the men's soccer tournament. We're joined with Roland Vargas, who is the play-by-play and analyst for our ESPN broadcast. Roland, first night was last night, 2 quarterfinal matches, and man, they were quite exciting. I guess we'll start with the second match of the day. It was tied up 0-0 to the final seconds of play. Then something pretty incredible happened.
Yeah, Air Force getting a winner with just a couple seconds left. I thought it was actually a really good game despite it being 0-0 going all the way to the end. But Air Force, they never give up. As head coach Pete Fewing of Seattle U told us, an assist goes to the ball kid, throwing the ball in. Air Force take the corner kick. They get the winner with absolutely no time remaining. It was quite a way to end the day.
Roland, I watched it on ESPN Plus, and I've worked with you for several years. I don't think I've ever seen a reaction like that. Have you ever seen a match end like that with 1 second to go in a, as you said, 0-0 match, that a header goes in and a team advances to the next round?
Yeah, it's pretty rare, especially in college soccer, because once that clock hits 90, it's over. So there's no referee's discretion. And with that one, didn't even think Air Force was going to be able to get that corner kick off. They took 2 corner kicks inside the last 30 seconds. So to end it that way, I've certainly never seen that in a tournament game. You see that a couple times during the regular season, but never in the postseason. Just an incredible way for that game to end. Heartbreaking for UTRGV, but a great win for the Falcons.
And UTRGV, that 6th seed, looking to do what Air Force had done the previous year, being the 6th seed, going all the way and winning the tournament. But heartbreaking, UTRGV played, I think, a lot better than what we were expecting. They created numerous chances. It seemed like a pretty even matchup as we were headed into the half, and then as we were going late into that second half.
Yeah, I thought the Vaqueros did really well, to your point. I mean, before the game, I thought they were just going to sit in, maybe be lucky to try to get a counter attack or two. But as that second half wore on, they were pretty good. They created some chances. They kept the Falcons honest. They really hung in there. And you saw just how dejected they were when they gave up that winner right at the end, because I think we all thought they were going to go to overtime, maybe even have a chance in penalty kicks.
Roland, Air Force had Tristan Traeger, the WAC Offensive Player of the Year, only played 33 minutes in that match last night. And as they advance here to play Seattle, you mentioned Pete Fewing, the legendary coach of the Red Hawks, and that figures to be a fantastic matchup on Friday. Sounds like the Falcons will possibly be without the services of the Offensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, it didn't look good for Tristan Traeger, one of the best players in the country, one of the best players in the WAC. Certainly there are some professional teams looking at him, as they have done with Air Force over the past few years. Tristan Traeger pulled up, looked like one of those dreaded non-contact injuries, kind of holding that right leg. His parents were in the crowd last night. I spoke to them. They weren't especially optimistic about his chances for the rest of this tournament. For sure, he needs some time definitely to rest and recover from that one. It looked like one of those bad little muscular pull injuries off the ball.
And that was unfortunate. As we spoke with Pete Fewing earlier, he had mentioned that it would be disappointing if he couldn't play, because you obviously want to go up against the best of the best. You never want to have a player like that who has such tremendous talent be out in such an important match. But going back to the previous match, the first matchup in the quarterfinals, San Jose State, what a game that was. I mean, there were so many goals scored in the first 15 minutes of play, and then to end with San Jose State moving on to play GCU in the semis.
Yeah, it was a weird game, but it was a wonderful game. You kind of thought that Utah Valley they could have scored as many as they wanted in that first half. They were all over San Jose State. They had wonderful movement. They used their speed time and time again, but something must have been said in that Spartan locker room at halftime, because they came out, they were a completely different team. They were able to use their experience, their quality on the ball. They were able to play the passes that they wanted. They clawed their way back into it with a couple set pieces. Then in the end, got the winner. Just a fabulous way to start this 2021 WAC soccer tournament. I mean, a 4-3, just a wonderful game.
Roland, a little reminiscent of a few years back when we were in Seattle. San Jose State was down 3-0, and they come back in the latter part of the second half to tie it up and then win in PKs. And of course, Simon Tobin being the constant in both of those matches, and he picks up his first WAC Coach of the Year award. He really has developed this team into a never say die type of team, and they'll be playing the host Grand Canyon on Friday, and the Lopes figured to have their hands full.
Yeah, they sure do. I mean, it's always about who's peaking at tournament time, and I think San Jose State, they have that experience from Simon Tobin, well deserving of the WAC Coach of the Year this year. And he's got players there that he can trust. He's got players that have made 60, 70, 80 plus appearances for the Spartans. So there's a ton of experience on that team. There's a ton of quality. I think right now it's just about how they regenerate, how they recover for that game, because GCU, they like to press. They like to press the tempo. They like to run an awful lot. So San Jose State, if they can hang in that match early, I think they'll have a chance just because of that experience and because of that never say die attitude.
Well, and in the first half, it was like UVU was creating all these opportunities. That was a fast match. I mean, they were constantly pressing the ball, and it felt like San Jose was lucky to be going into the half tied up because they had, scored some goals off of set pieces and a penalty kick. But UVU had dominated that first half in terms of possession and pushing the pace of the game. But then in the second half, it seemed to be more even. And then that shows just how patient that San Jose State was and not getting frustrated, and something that Simon Tobin must have said in the locker room really got the guys fired up.
Yeah, he said something. He wouldn't tell us after the game what words he used, but he said something. And then to your point, the speed of Utah Valley was just astonishing. They were all over San Jose State early.
Well, we have some great semifinals coming up. Very exciting. What are you looking forward to most in seeing on the matches on Friday?
I'm looking forward to seeing, these teams, Seattle University and GCU, they had the first round buys for a reason because of the quality that they showed throughout the entire year. I'm excited to see how they start. They're going to be playing teams that come in with an awful lot of momentum, but I think Seattle U and GCU especially, they have the quality. They had that first round buy. They've been preparing. You saw all the coaches in the stands last night watching, taking notes on the iPads, making corrections, doing what they need to do to scout. I think we're going to see really lively first half an hours. And then after that, it's about these teams that have played already in the first round here in Phoenix, about how they're able to keep that pressure going and whether they're going to run out of steam against some teams that are coming in with a little bit of rest.
Sorry, Roland, you actually froze up on my computer here, so I didn't jump in on my other question here. Just wanted to wrap up that San Jose State, Utah Valley thought. Rudy Castro had an incredible goal in that match, and it was recognized on SportsCenter in their top 10 package. I haven't seen if that incredible goal at the end of the Air Force match made that as well, but that's one of the things about that San Jose State team is they have these kind of magical goal scorers. They have a couple of really good players on that team.
They sure do, and they're deadly from set pieces, and that I think goes to the experience that they have. You have a player like Max Allen who started 81 of the 82 possible games that he could play in his WAC career at San Jose State. Feels like he's been there forever. He's been there as long as I've been calling games in the WAC. And then Rudy Castro came up with that one. The whole stadium thought he was going to cross that ball to the far post. At the very end, he just curled it near post, beat the wall, beat the goalkeeper. A fantastic goal, well deserving of a top 10 play. I mean, that was one of the moments that we've seen so far in this tournament.
Well, Roland, thank you so much for joining us. We're excited for Friday's semifinal matches and then that championship on Sunday. Follow WAC Sports for all your updates on those tournaments. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Happy Veterans Day, everybody.
Make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. And check out our website at wacsports.com.